Hello, sorry for the intro. I clicked a few wrong buttons. Welcome back again to the stream. My name is Joost van Schaik. I'm your moderator today. And with me is Lili Eva Bartha, founder and CEO of GNR3RA, which I think you should pronounce as Genera. Yes. She's an XR and digital fashion specialist and a design researcher from London, UK. And she does digital customization for AR and games, fashion customization. Now, I've been to a number of VR events and always spent some time on dressing up my avatar to look as me as much as possible. But I think it's safe to say my fashion sense is not quite up there. Let's say it's a good thing I'm married, and I'm sure Lili Eva has some more insightful things to say about it. So, Lili Eva, the floor is yours. I'm going to show your presentation, and good
Thanks,
luck.
thanks, Joost. Hi, everybody. I will quickly just go into sharing my screen and, overwhelm you guys with slides. Thanks for the introduction and thanks for the organizer so I can be here. It's Friday evening, so late. My English is already sleeping. But I'm super excited to be here and introduce you into what we do at Genera and in general, why digital outfits are interesting or important when it comes to our online presence. My name is Lili Eva Bartha, and I'm the founder and CEO of Genera. I love that everyone has a version of our name. At least it's memorable. Let's get into it. So, I will talk a little bit about my background because I love myself. No, it's because I would like to walk you guys through, whoever is watching or will be watching, on the journey I took that arrived me to what we are doing today. It's actually quite an interesting one. And I think there's a lot of points where I've learned, that mixed backgrounds and changing careers enables you to see things from multiple perspectives. So I am a scientist and fashion designer by education. I work with lots of fashion companies. I had my own fashion label as well. But around 2019, I decided to move away from physical fashion because it's one of the most resource intensive industries in the whole world, and its incredibly negative society environmental footprint is really not something that I want to contribute to with physical outfits. So I decided to find alternatives, how I can still express my creativity and share my experiences with the world. And that kind of led me to exploring digital tools. So as you do, I went online, I Googled everything, I did some random stuff in Unity, which is a game engine. And then slowly, eventually, I've learned more tools, more software, more combinations. And then I ended up becoming a digital specialist with a studio. So that's the second point on this slide. I assisted a number of brands, industrial players, organizations, academic institutes, individuals, and students in the last 4 years of entering the digital space. And because I'm very tied to academic kind of roots because of my scientist background, I was really eager to engage in research projects and lecturing. So during those experiences together, I couldn't help but notice that actually, while there are amazing software available to create virtual content, they also have a really technical barrier to entry, a really steep learning curve. If you want to be a professional designer, a 3D specialist, that's fine. But I believe that there are needs today that these platforms are not catering. People also want to just have a digital asset, wear it in augmented reality, wear it on their avatar. And for those purposes, these tools are way too technical. So, all those experiences when I was teaching my students, okay, so this is the software you use for rendering, this is what you use for prototyping, building, production, assembly. I saw students cry. So I kind of realized that there's a huge need for new types of platforms, and that's how we arrived to what I do today, which is building a startup that delivers a no-code solution for virtual outfit creation. But before we actually dive into why is that important and what that does, I want to show you a couple of the previous projects I've been involved in, so it kind of gives more context. And then we will also talk a bit about the digital landscape, digital self-expression, and how bigger industrial players are engaging with the new media, because I think it's important to kind of create a full-on landscape. So, as I mentioned before, I come from physical fashion, doing collections as you do. It was an amazing experience, but I personally don't believe the world needs more outfits, at least physical ones. So, I entered the digital space and I worked extensively with augmented reality, virtual reality, and other immersive technologies to deliver engaging projects. I was always very fascinated by immersion, interaction, and creativity. So, how can you create virtual experiences that incentivize visitors to do more than just be there or interact, but actually to engage in creative interactions? So, in 2020, when I was an artist in residence in Amsterdam at the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences, long name for Friday night, I've actually developed a virtual reality universe or parallel universes where my goal was to allow the visitors to design outfits just in VR by, putting outfits together or growing them using real-time biodigital algorithms, which is down here, or using interactive machine learning and training the runtime game engine on their behavior, and that was making reactions from the outfits. And it was really interesting because obviously it's a speculative project. It was short, 3-4 months of work. But when we tested it with university students and academics, they kept telling me, can you make this into a commercial project? Because I would like to build outfits myself and I want to have fun. I don't want to spend so much time on learning how to do it. I just want to do it. So that was an interesting kind of catalyst for what came later. But multiple artist residencies and research projects helped me to further this kind of thought process. For example, the last one I've done was last year. Not sure if my internet connection is good enough to play these videos. So this is Beyond Us. Here I moved beyond outfits and I was looking again at creative interactions and how can we use immersive medium to enhance the user experience. Then, then there were quite a lot of interesting industrial projects, and this is where I started engaging more and more with digital fashion. You can hear the sound, but I might just mute it. For me, when I work with digital fashion, it was always really important to put outfits into a new perspective, to kind of explore them from a different angle. Just because you want to replicate something in the digital space doesn't mean it should look and behave like the real life outfits. So I was always really interested in, well, how my presentation works. That's for sure one thing. But okay, let me just not entirely sure how these videos work when I use embedding the videos, whatever. So when we worked with digital fashion as a medium, it was really interesting for me to kind of concentrate on the landscape and the context where the outfits are embedded. And then, as I said, all that research and lecturing really helped me to kind of interact with the students firsthand, and they're all in the target audience that my company is anyways looking at, this emerging young generation who grew up with immersive technologies, are very native online. Online socialization, consumption and play is very basic for them. So it was really interesting to kind of learn from them how they see digital fashion as a technology and how they see the software, all the 15 or 20 I introduced to them. So now, after my background, let's move on to some general kind of information. I really like to lay the ground on, okay, digital fashion is interesting and many people heard about it, but I would like you to think about it more as a technology rather than a trend or a hyped topic of last year. Digital fashion is simply just a CAD-based 3D modeling that enables different stakeholders to build digital outfits and use them in their supply and value chain. And it has been around for a long time. But during the pandemic, just in a couple of months, its adoption accelerated rapidly, simply because companies were restricted. They couldn't manufacture necessarily or showcase their collections. It wasn't just in fashion, but obviously the fashion industry is using it enormously. And what we have seen ever since is that there is also an acceleration on using this media to create immersive, engaging experiences. Brands are always looking for new ways to engage with users. So I find it really interesting to follow how these industrial projects evolve, starting from 2021 to last year and to this year. I think there's a growing tendency of, all right, there are great use cases for digital fashion. If it's in the supply chain, I can reduce physical sampling. I can create variations of an outfit before production. But what I really focus on is using this technology, after the product is done, or using it instead of a physical product. So there are a lot of different engagement opportunities where digital fashion as a technology plays essential role, like, for example, how you experience it through wearing it on your avatar, on an image fitted onto you as an augmented reality filter. There's also this a very essential role of using it as a try-on feature before you actually order a physical product. It can also be a collectible. But what is most exciting for me is creating digital-only product lines and staying digital forever, because that aligns with my mission of reducing physical outfit production and thereby consumption. So we will see a couple of examples where bigger industrial players have been using this technology, and I will highlight where there is potential or the ultimate goal was to create digital-only products and monetize on them. But before we go to that part, I want to also kind of introduce the topic of digital identity and how outfits come into play. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but still worth talking about. And this is a little bit of a business slide, but Friday night is only good if you talk about numbers. So digital outfits are key in multiple high-growth markets. It's really exciting to see how they are taking a central role in lots of different economies. One of my favorite is the direct-to-avatar economy. It's forecasted to be the biggest digital economy in the next 7 years, worth $1 trillion by 2030. I cannot even comprehend with the size of that. And it simply means, as you think, targeting avatars, with different offers, with different assets, with different business models. And more brands are engaging in this strategy. Again, this is not new. If you think of simply gaming, games often have avatars, and the users or players of those avatars often buy things for them, be it an outfit or a weapon. So this has been around for ages. But I think what we see, in the last couple of years is an acceleration from lifestyle brands, fashion brands, musicians, and artists expanding into literally the wearables, the skins that the avatars wear, simply because it's one of the most obvious ways of expressing yourself. So this is where we are going to talk about personalization and digital identity. So there's a growing demand from the emerging generation in having more personalized and customizable experiences as well as assets, because simply this is how everyone can gain more control and freedom over how they're perceived online. So for me, it's really exciting to observe how that affects different platforms. For example, using an avatar service like Ready Player Me, how can you be yourself and then like carry your identity through platforms through that avatar, or augmented reality wearing filters. So there's a lot of exciting things to talk about here. And while in 2023 I think you're not allowed to use the word the metaverse, let's just ignore that for a minute, because one of the most exciting market research and trend reports that were released end of last year is this one by Roblox, which is a big online game, and Parsons, great university in the US for concentrating on design. For us in the digital fashion community, this trend report was a really important one, because first in the world, it finally summarized many of our findings and intuitions and kind of the market research itself when it comes to direct to avatar and avatar based self-expression and the young generation. I hate slides with lots of text, but I couldn't really do anything about this. I think the numbers speaks for themselves. 70% of the audience of this report said that the digital expression of their avatar influences their real life expression heavily, as well as vice versa, which I think is a really exciting dynamics between the things you do online and the things you are online and your real life appearance or your real life personality. Some people are looking at replicating themselves and being exactly how they are in the physical but in the digital as well. But I'm also very excited by those users and players who are building different identities for themselves on different platforms, and then they can play with that because there is an opportunity for that. Another interesting thing to mention is diversity, inclusivity, and looking for versatile, customizable options. And this is where slowly we are going closer and closer to what my company does, because people are looking for freedom and more control and more options, and they want to truly feel like they can represent themselves online. So this report is really interesting. There are more and more coming out, but I really recommend anyone who's interested in this topic to go and read it. Another example I wanted to show is a recent activation in Roblox. Roblox will be the start of tonight with lots of other industrial examples. It's an online platform, and there's a huge amount of user-led creativity, user-created assets, and trading these assets. So there's a huge traffic on this platform, driven by users who want to monetize on their 3D creations. And I think this is a very exciting example where Carolina Herrera, she had a fashion show, and a very famous model called Carly Kloss wore this dress. In my opinion, it doesn't look that nice, but people are liking it out there, so yay. So they reproduced this outfit and they made the Roblox version for it. And then as you can see, it was immediately sold out, and its value from the initial 500 Robux, which is the currency on the platform, its value ended up really, really high by trading between users. So I think this is a great example of demand and the value increment throughout user-led transactions, and just the very kind of idea of this is a this is a digital outfit that the owners probably will never buy in the digital space, the physical space, because it's a high-end product which is probably very inaccessible. But if you compare it to the digital experience of owning it and wearing it, I find it really exciting. Again, digital self-expression and identity is not just about what your avatar wears, but a lot of times it is about it, because the digital space is still very limiting in terms of the visuals and the audio. There's not much more you can do. So I brought a couple of examples, and I really hope internet stays with me. Apologies if something won't play, but I think it's really interesting to observe how bigger brands are engaging with similar technologies. So this is, for example, L'Oreal's very recent activation on Roblox. I think it was for Paris Fashion Week. I have a video of it, so let's see. I might just. Oh God, no. Okay, that's why I said probably it would be dangerous for me to embed so many videos, but let me just go back. I was trying to mute the video, but I will give up now. Slide. And that was the dress I mentioned earlier about. I think I got the essence. Then another one I wanted to show. I'm wondering if I need to just exit this presentation again. Yeah, sadly. Oh well. Let's dive back. So another example on Roblox is something that H&M has done. Uh, I managed to mute it. So this is H&M's activation on Roblox, and I think it's really interesting to see, while it's the same platform and similar audiences on the platform, the actual construction of the experience and the actual appearance of the experience is different vibe. You can feel that it's a little bit more targeting an even more younger audience. So I find it really interesting how even on one platform, the brand expression and then the interactions that the users can do is catering a different kind of audience. Then this is an example of Hugo Boss on Spatial. So Spatial is another really great virtual world. I personally really enjoy exploring experiences on it. And it was just really interesting to see the approach of the brand on how do they actually represent the brand itself, and as a user or visitor, how can you engage with the brand, and what does it mean to be in a Hugo Boss world? What does it mean to be their consumer in the digital? They actually implemented a lot of in game or in virtual world interactions, and had a little bit of gamified vibes to it. Oh, I think there's a video as well. Yeah, let's watch it. So this is an avatar exploring the world. I'm not entirely sure how exciting this will be, but for me, it's always very interesting to analyze. Okay, so they've put a video on the wall. So as an avatar, you stop and you watch it. Then you have these like gamified interactions. Then you have some out of proportion, in terms of scaling assets. So it's really interesting as well, the UI. So when it comes to luxury fashion experiences, when you want to mix that with gamification and you want to use user interface to communicate information, I think that's just a really exciting kind of opportunity where you can, I guess, benefit from traditional user experience and user interface solutions, but you can also reinvent the wheel in a way to bring that luxury and sophistication in. But then the funny thing is that I think the person who recorded this video was just wearing a random Ready Player Me avatar and outfit with tattoos on his face. So I found that really interesting, comparing it to the actual environment that he was exploring. Okay, we have a couple of more experiences to check. So this is from LaCoste, another very recent activation. I think it was created to promote their summer holiday collection. I didn't even know they have one, but of course, seasonal fashion is still very much alive, sadly, which I find, again, really interesting. And the reason for it is because I think it's actually a great example of a branded showcase space. Again, they've done this with NFT gating. So you have to have the NFT, you have to buy an NFT to be able to access this space. So that kind of gating is debatable, because there are some people who say it's great for building loyalty and creating a closed community. Some people say it's a bit like higher barrier to entry for a general customer, and it's also making it just simply a bit like it's not so community focused after all if it's so closed off. But I think it depends on what the agenda of the brand is, what was the motivation to build this experience. And from a fashion perspective, it's really important for me to observe where the outfits are, how is Lacoste brand identity expressed. So again, that was just a quick example. I think I'm gonna actually not go too deep into the last one, but this is from Diesel. It's actually a very new activation they've done, and it's actually promoting a watch, but they've built a virtual experience where you can explore the space with avatars, and if you have a special NFT, then you can unlock certain outfits. But this experience is not about outfits, it's about the watch. And I just found it interesting that they are using very heavily the gamification, having your avatar. It's a role play game. You explore, you complete challenges, but and it's beautifully built. But I was just very like interested on, okay, so the environment looks great, the assets look great, but actually the interactions are still that traditional. I run and I kind of I don't know, maybe actually can load. Let's see. Oh no, let's not risk my internet connection. So I'm actually challenging now brands. Can you build a virtual experience where the gamification that you include or it enhances your experience is not the traditional expected point collecting something, because it kind of, I think it plays against the actual sophistication of the experience and where the brand comes from. So I'm still waiting to see some exciting examples of gamification in a lifestyle setting. And another example of Diesel's engagement with the digital space and digital fashion, which is, I think, a bit more towards the topic of this talk anyways, when they collaborated with Meta very recently to drop their virtual collection into Meta's avatar worlds. I think it's not just like the avatar system they have is compatible with WhatsApp, Instagram, and Horizons, but I think maybe it is also just called Horizons. So yeah, I found that interesting because there's a very few information about how popular Meta's avatar system is. I found one data where they said they have 1 billion avatars already. That's great, but what about the daily usage? How how close do you feel to your avatars? So there's a lot of report coming out from Meta on how they keep improving them, but yeah, I'm still very skeptical. However, if bigger brands are moving into the space, that's always interesting to see. I wish we could learn a bit more about the return on investment when it comes to these projects. Like, okay, so how many skins were sold? What was the price range of them? How popular which asset is and why, and for how long the user is using them. But nevertheless, all these examples I wanted to introduce to you so you get a better idea of what is often the brand agenda. They use digital outfits, wearables as partially a marketing experience, partially elements of gamified experiences. But then when it comes to avatars and wearables, I think that is still very much around, this is my avatar, this is what my avatar is wearing, and this is how I express myself today in the virtual world I am in. So for me, that's a really interesting kind of tendency of widespreading more and more like fashion or musician or artist merchandise into virtual worlds and making it wearable by avatars. And that leads me to the last part of this presentation, because when a bigger brand creates these assets with, let's say, a specialist studio, and they end up in a platform like Meta's avatar system or Ready Player Me or whatever else, obviously there is one thing missing: the fact that users are actually not having that much freedom in how these assets look like. And I think that's a big mistake. But then also, there are not yet that many technologies that enable users to engage with this unless it's built into the platform. So this is where Genera comes in, my startup. We built one of the first in the world digital outfit customization technologies. And our mission is to enable hundreds of millions of people worldwide to have more control over their self-expression through wearables. So wearables as in outfits or avatars or outfits for augmented reality. Our mission is not just to democratize virtual self-expression and make it more accessible, to have more, versatility and more options, but we are also kind of very excited to explore how can it be more inclusive and diverse. Because we are working on outfits, we work a lot with avatar companies, so we can see firsthand how there are limitations around, true representation, be it heritage, race, culture, body, disability. So I'm actually very excited to develop hand in hand with avatar companies new solutions that enable more diverse representation in the digital, because that is obviously an essential part of your identity offline and online. So how our platform actually works is really simple. We created this sandbox approach where you can combine building blocks. We have a really extensive texture customizer engine at the core of the platform. And then what I'm the most excited about, it's a new platform. We only launched it globally in April, so, early stages. But we are working with really exciting avatar platforms where we are basically directly plugging into their system, meaning that the user has minimal friction on the outfit they created and ending or taking that outfit into the end platform. We are also about to release the first in the world seamless pipeline to AR, so you can build your outfits with us on our platform, and then you can immediately wear it in augmented reality using our mobile app. That we've already demoed last week at the Augmented World Expo, and we're actually launching it globally at the end of this month at the Immersive Tech Week in Rotterdam. So if anyone is there, then please come and say hi and try it. And then the last part is where integration is not possible. We are about to release some export opportunities so the users can just take a file or an outfit file that's kind of compatible. But I'm actually really I'm not really a big fan of this, because while there are users who know what to do, most of the users don't know what to do with a 3D file, be it whatever extension. So my whole mission is to make it seamless, easy. You never have to touch technical file. You never really have to think more than 1 second about where this goes. So that's what we are trying to build. So let's have a little look at the platform. If we have time, I will also live demonstrate it, but this is a small recording of how it works. We developed the interface and the design interactions after carefully studying many different software and, of course, testing it for a long time. So we try to simplify it as much as possible. It's very limitless, it's very diverse, but still the interface is so simple that you cannot really get this wrong. So when someone says I don't have a fashion sense, I'm like, that it is not about your fashion sense. It's about use this simple interface, build something, and then own it. Just, be happy. So that's how the product kind of looks like right now. I'm actually very excited on how it will evolve soon, because we are looking to partner with fashion brands. So our interface will change a lot when it comes to white label solutions. And since we launched this year, it has been actually really exciting. We work with really amazing partners, organizations, really incredible tech partners. And each campaign, we had more than 4, but that's what I could fit on this slide. Each collaboration was actually a milestone for us in promoting a group of emerging designers. I really like taking their creations and then dropping it on the platform, and then allowing our community worldwide to kind of customize and co-create those outfits further. It taught us and the designers a lot about collaborative creativity. They really opened up their creative practice when I asked them, "Can you let everyone design your outfit?" They many of them were a bit hesitant in the beginning, but it was beautiful to follow their kind of, I don't know, their understanding throughout the process that how cool this is. And let's see what else is here. Yes, we do a lot of real life activations, because I'm a firm believer of just get that product out there, get that feedback. No matter what they say, it's out there, people are using it. And we actually been so lucky. We had so many exciting opportunities this year, starting from festivals to academic activations to fashion weeks to fashion festivals. Really a lot of opportunity to engage with global audiences, different age groups, different backgrounds, some expert designers, some have never touched a laptop. Probably that's not true, but something like that. It was really interesting to see what people think, what people are missing, what people would like to see next. For example, one of the latest ones in September, we did a pop-up at Digital Fashion Week London at the headquarters of Epic Games near Oxford Circus. And it was really exciting because this was the first time we launched a closed feature right now, which is make your hyperreal avatar with a partner technology service of ours and dress it up with our platform. And it was incredible to watch the people recreating themselves as a digital avatar, hyperreal, and then put our outfits on top of them. And that whole process, just like sitting next to them, watching their reaction, was incredible. And, I wish we would have had more time to talk about the actual experience, because this is digital self-expression and identity as deep as it gets. It's actually weird, it's exciting, it's interesting. So I think there's so much to research and understand there. So we have this feature in closed testing. If anyone is interested, I can give you access to it. The reason why it's not publicly available yet, because there are a lot of lot of things we need to think about in terms of what do you do with the avatar and the outfit you then have. We need to really make sure that everything is well thought of and protected. But I'm just super excited to share this soon with the world. And then the last bit is the AR1 that we have teased last week at the Augmented World Expo. So here you're able to build your outfit and send it immediately to your phone application. Obviously, soon General becomes completely mobile based anyways. So then there won't be this inconsistency of you need a laptop or a tablet to do it and then your phone. But right now, this is how it works, and we are very happy it does. So yeah, please have a go at Genera, completely free to use. Just go online, go to a website, register, wait until it loads, have a good internet connection, and then try it. Share your creation with us because I cannot wait to see what you make. And if we have time, let's see, we have 5 minutes. So I would like to show you how it actually works. This is right in our browser on our website. So, I had to launch it like this. We also have the game engine open in case the internet connection goes, but so far so good. And yeah, I mean, it's really simple, really easy to use. Right now, the online available version, you're only able to design the outfits and then record them for images and videos. Right now, the AR or the avatar feature is still in closed testing. So again, if you're interested in that, just sign up on our website. We also have, actually, let me show you. We have this little submission form called Core Creators. And if you submit your information here, then I will grant you access to the program you're interested in. So yeah, this is the main platform. And what's exciting, actually, we didn't really inform our community yet, is that we introduced the display of avatars because each asset is already compatible with certain end platforms. Like this one is a Ready Player Me asset. We are working with their backend and we're automating the outfit design process. So I think in a couple of weeks' time, you can send the outfit you create directly to Ready Player Me. So you can then wear it in whatever integrations you want to do it in. So these are the outfits that we have right now available. Most of them are designed by super exciting emerging designers. Some of them are physical designers, some of them are digital designers. So it has been a really exciting journey to, kind of discover working with different types of designers. For the physical designers, it was the first time. For the digital designers, obviously, they have, for example, this outfit was digital native or is digital native. So how Genera actually works is, I think I'm not doing a good job in introducing all the features. I'm just kind of like clicking around. But what I really like about it is that we have this incredible power of mesh combinations. So you're able to turn on and off elements of outfits. And soon, the more content we add to the platform, the easier it gets to combine meshes. And, it becomes like really like a sandbox approach. At least that's what we want to achieve. And it's just really exciting to see that even you would think it might be a bit limited. It's actually not. It's actually so many opportunities you already have in here by these combinations and options of outfits that actually I think everyone has been designing something extra unique. One of my favorite things is accessories. So we have this really extensive accessory system where you're able to, dress up your little avatar with certain decorations. In fact, let me just go into another outfit where we have probably more. Yeah, this one. No, okay. This is where I get deep into designing, and then people are like, "Lily, you're in a live presentation. Could you please hurry up and just do something?" So I'm just gonna accelerate now. But basically, the accessory system is really exciting, and while you might think, okay, these are hats and sunglasses, good for you. Actually, this is much bigger technological innovation than you think, because it actually enables our export engine to merge all the 3D assets you see right now into one single mesh, which is automatically skinned and rigged upon export. So for non-technical people, this basically means that when you're assembling, the different digital accessories, and we have multiple options for this, but they are not publicly available right now, you're able to place 3D objects anywhere on the mesh. So the point of this whole thing is that you can really build something unique, really build something kind of your own. And obviously this is very early stages to develop this kind of technology, but it does work when you want to export it. So we are like, yay, game changing for us. What I really like, and it might look very simple, is our environments as well. So most of our users, they actually come from design background, but when you're not familiar with design, it can actually be very overwhelming to design an outfit. So often they start with choosing an environment that then inspires them. And I know that I'm out of time, so I'm going to quickly wrap up, but I'm just getting started. So obviously we have incredible amounts of materials that I really advise everyone to try. We are working with a really high quality render pipeline, even though the assets are already game ready and are optimized. So I find it really exciting when you kind of close up and it's really nice rendered. Remember, it's all real time and it's in your browser, so that's like something. Then another exciting thing is our digital only materials. So we have a lot of kind of, we call them crazy materials, because why not? They cannot be exported in a way that they keep their animation, but it does give you some really exciting kind of opportunity to explore what can the digital only offer you. And the good news is that they actually do work in our AR app. So once we release that, you will be able to actually see these amazing effects in AR as well. Then we have our graphics tools, amazing, really exciting stuff. And when we are introducing our generative AI features, of course, then you will be able to generate the graphics yourself. But right now we have a library of digital assets. So, you can place your graphics anywhere you want, and the interactions are really simple. You just drag and drop it on the 3D avatar directly. Then the last little exciting thing is our effects. Again, these effects are mainly for our AR application, because you cannot necessarily use them. No, you cannot use them at all when it comes to export. But for augmented reality, it's quite fun. So, and people actually love these. They say often this is the most, I don't know, exciting feature, because they can set things on fire, which is a bit scary. And then lastly, you can pose and kind of get your avatars moving, and you can kind of test how the outfit that you have built looks like, which again is a really cool thing, because it kind of gives you that opportunity to showcase your creation, but also to to kind of see how it will look in the end platform. You can turn off and on the avatar, and then in the main version you're able to take a video or a screenshot. We have some pre-recorded camera functions, so you're able to just film it. So it's lagging a bit because I'm screen sharing, but otherwise it's super nice experience. And then the video automatically downloads on your computer if you allow it. So there you go. So I have it downloaded. It's downloading now. So yeah, that's really it. That's right now Genera. I really hope that you guys will try it. And now I will need to try to stop sharing so we can have the questions in the remaining 7 minutes. Yeah, that was my presentation.
That was awesome. I was first like, oh, this is going to be some kind of business presentation about,
Mhm.
and then you suddenly move to all these awesome things with these crazy videos. You must have a very good internet connection, because you were doing something very scary, streaming of YouTube. I was like, oh my God, but it worked fine.
Great to
Yeah,
hear.
there were. I will be in Rotterdam, by the way, so I will certainly drop by. I have some
Please come by, yes.
feedback from Bruno Alvarez. I only flashed the thing. He says top presentation, and somebody else says love the project. There are actually questions,
Oh,
and he
yes.
says Bruno Alvarez. Can you see this? It says besides the huge learning curve you mentioned at the beginning, can you share other constraints designers have when designing clothes in 3D? And we have two more questions.
Okay. Yes. I mean, it depends. I understand the question, but also If you mean constraints during the design process, I'm not entirely sure what's the use case of the outfit that you're creating. Because if it's a 3D outfit that you then want to physically manufacture, then yeah, you do have lots of constraints. It still has to, have like proper measurements, because then if you actually extract the patterns for physical production, it won't match and it won't be okay. That's why, for example, Claw 3D is a great software, because it has visualization of the tension, where digitally two fabric pieces are stitched together. It shows in real life how big the tension would be on the stitches, for example. But if it's not for physical production, then I think the biggest constraint that currently we face today is if you build an outfit. I didn't talk about that actually. That's a good point. If you create an outfit for a certain platform, like I showed Roblox many times today,
Mhm.
although Roblox is a deep dark hole because they have multiple avatars, and you can make really simple textures for certain outfits or certain avatars. But if you want to use the new avatars, then so let's just not go into that. But problem is that most platforms have very specific requirements when you create digital outfits for them, and most often you'd need to refit it, even maybe retopologize the asset if you want to use it in another platform. So if I want to upload something to Ready Player Me, and then if you want to upload it to Roblox or Decentraland, if anyone's still using that. So I think that's a huge sorry, that's a huge constraint. And right now there is nothing we can do except wait. There are solutions like the VRM file format. I'm very excited about it, because the more platforms will adopt accepting that file format, the bigger chance we have to create one asset that is compatible with multiple platforms. So I hope I answered the question, if that was kind of the question anyways.
There is another question. It says, how do you think the fashion brands tracks the return on investment of investments into building virtual world activations?
Very good question. I would like to actually know as well. As in, I know how.
Sorry.
This, no, I mean, so the thing is, there are all these amazing activations. I showed quite a few today,
Yes.
but actually, no one's publishing the return on investment. They don't really publish. So we had this many engagement, this many sales. Some people do publish it, but it's often just like mysterious. And I wonder, we all wonder, is it because it's not going well, or is it because it's just so private that why on earth would you share? But for example, key metrics can be increased engagement with the brand on certain platforms. It can also be directly connected to the experience. So if it's a Roblox experience, an activation by L'Oreal, then you can measure the amount of traffic, how many users visited the place, how long did they interact with, what did they interact, did they convert into opening the website, opening a specific product. So the example I showed from Hugo Boss, you could click on certain outfits, and then I think the user interface would take you to the actual product website, and you could buy it. So there's a lot of things that you can track in terms of user behavior and understand how engaging the experience was. Then, of course, another thing is, I didn't talk about that today, but there is also this method of how popular a digital asset is. And then if it's very popular, there's a lot of engagement, the brand will actually start manufacturing it. There was a very big high fashion brand who does that quite often. So then again, you can kind of, there the return on investment is basically just guarantee people will buy the physical product. But I think when it comes to, let's say, Diesel's meta skins, if the users can pay for those outfits, then there is direct return on investment in the form of revenue. My only question would be, or challenge to these brands is, what is your production cost? How much do you invest? And how much do you actually get back? I think there is still a lot of projects that are just using technology for the sake of it, and they're still making big, big mistakes in order to kind of like promote something, but it's kind of the return on investment must be low. So I'm just very, very excited to see activations that really truly bring that return that you're expecting.
Looks like you need another talk about this. There's another. There's a third question. Are you using? This is a very good one, I think. Are you using demanding facial expressions and movements? Now the movements we already saw. So how about
Okay.
meaning it goes
Hmm.
beyond?
Yeah, no, that's a very good question. So the thing is that there's a fine line between what we do and what avatar creator platforms do. And we don't want to be an avatar creator platform. We enhance them. We're extra layer on top of them. So, for example, Avatar, a great platform we work with, they have facial tracking. So if you create an avatar, you can use your webcam or phone cam, and you can just like directly real time control the face of the avatar, different kind of facial movement, real time, and that's great. And by that time you get that you're already wearing our outfit. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy there. I would really like to enhance our own in-game experience as well, but that's a whole another dark hole, because if you make your avatar first and then you come to our platform, our outfits needs to match the avatar, and if you've already created like a different body shape, our outfits would need to automatically kind of fit to that. And that's kind of a technology that's, I think it doesn't even exist yet, like automatically refitting outfits that come from, or the avatar comes from, or the base body comes from another platform. So I would love to have the avatar in the beginning, like your actual avatar that looks like you or whoever you want to be, and then dress it up. But right now the other way is how it's happening. You make your outfit and you take it to the avatar platform. So all the facial expression is happening in the end platforms, simply because that's how our pipeline is built. I think how we will scale and grow, and we are becoming hopefully more than just a technological layer. I would really like, I have so much plans on how to enrich the user experience in the platform, like make a community in the platform, stay in the platform, showcase in the platform. Then I think the bigger it gets and the more, like I don't know, the more users are there to stay in the platform, I think we will be able to enrich the experience, like having your avatar in there already, and then having more elaborate interactions or even like facial expressions. I would be the happiest. But right now, I hope that gives you an answer on how our technological pipeline is built due to technical limitations. So that's the best we can do. But we have these amazing partners who are already covering that.
Yeah, I was very impressed by the technology and the speed. Unfortunately, I would love to talk about more with it, but unfortunately, we are kind of out of time. Thank you very much for this very interesting presentation. I was really flabbergasted, and I'm not really easy flabbergasted. So, thank you
Okay.
for this. Yes, agree. Thomas says he agrees. Yes, I agree
Oh,
too.
thank you. Very
It
kind.
is great to listening to someone who loves what they do. Okay,
Absolutely.
thank you very much,
Thanks,
and
yours. Thanks, everyone.
bye bye.
Bye.